Hey everyone, welcome to my storage locker. Welcome to a brand new show on the World Foam Alliance with me, Maritime Foam, Anthony Stewart. We are here for Maritime Salvage. We're going to be going through my storage locker. We're going to be picking out busted or broken blasters or blasters that really even in their prime weren't that good. And we're going to be fixing them up and we're going to be making them playable. And what we can't make playable, we're going to turn into scrap. And we're going to take those springs and bolts and toy screws and use those for other projects. A lot of this hobby is digging in, tearing things apart, breaking it down into scrap, or building it back up. There's so much in here. I'm gonna give you guys a good tour once I finish organizing it up. I'm gonna go over some blasters that are not worth fixing. I'm gonna pick out some ones that are worth fixing. And once a month, we're gonna go and we're gonna make something awesome. We're over here tonight because I picked up this Rival Prometheus, which is an awesome blaster with the balls for like 25 bucks, but it didn't work. It came with a battery, but no power. I checked it over and pretty soon I saw the problem. This should not look like that. It's melted all the plastic. This battery is toast. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig in. We're gonna get this thing working again at stock performance. And I'm gonna show you how you can take a blaster or any toy or anything with a proprietary battery, do a little research, wire up something new, and make it functional again. I'm pretty excited about this one. These batteries were known to go bad, so I think this might be handy for people. But it doesn't have to be a Prometheus. This would be just as handy for a Percy's or any other blaster with a weird battery you can't find. We just look up the voltage, we do some research, you ask me, you ask someone else in the World Foam Alliance, and we will help you out and we'll make those toys work again. Let's get this back to the workbench. Let's see what we need to do. Luckily, 9.6 volt nickel metal hydride is super common, so I don't think we'll have much trouble with this. If you're interested in going the next step further, Captain Xavier has a great mod guide on this blaster if you're ready for lipos and all that. But today, we're just gonna take this back to be as good as it was when it first came out, which was really good. This is an awesome stock blaster. I love having another one of these for parties. All right, let's go. I've already taken out the screws from this. Let's see if we can get it apart. It looks like, from what I've seen online, you could cut a hole. We could put a battery in through here. I'm going to probably run my cord for a lipo out of here, and I'm actually going to print a case that kind of looks like the old battery, and that'll be a big battery case, just to kind of keep the look of it. If you don't have a 3D printer, 3D printer is not required for this. You could hack into this bad boy carefully and use it as a case. I actually tried to start doing that. This thing seems to be heavily glued together, but you could carefully, maybe with a coping saw into this thing. Just be careful because there's a battery in there. It's heavier on this end, so I'd probably go into it up here to see what's what. All right, I think these guards are going to be a pain. Let's see if I look like a fool trying to get this apart. Oh yeah, these guards are definitely a pain, but we can stretch around them, I think. Oh, I don't like that sound. Yeah, I think we got it. So this also is not going to be a full lipo guide here. I have a bad battery. I'm only interested in this having the rival power that it had before. I'm just interested in this working with a 9.6 volt nickel metal hydride battery, just like this is, except I'm gonna use my own off of Amazon. So here we go. We have, wires are attached to both sides. Oh no. There we go. This shell can go away. I gotta clean this out. This has had so much dart dust in it. Captain Xavier has a great mod guide for this. I might actually end up going in here a little bit. I need to get rid of this. This safety causes me so much grief with kids. It gets flicked up and they are just constantly baffled by it. I wasn't going to open up the whole trigger mechanism thing, but maybe I will. Unless I can just cheat my way in here and take out this screw and... Can I? No, I gotta do a bit more than that, I guess. We probably will go in there because I need to get rid of that. It drives me crazy. But let's take a look at this really quick first. This can actually be really, really, really simple. We can bundle all of these wires that are going to our negative prong. You can tell they're negative because they're brown. And we can take all of our red wires here. We'll get rid of this board. We don't really need this board. And I'm not even going to rewire it because we don't need to rewire it. Wow, look at all that hair and stuff in here. We are going to clean this out, that's for sure. Captain Xavier has a great guide on modding this for LiPo. I'm not doing that now. You probably could just run this 2S as is, honestly. But I'm going to run it 9.6. So yeah, I think this is actually going to be pretty easy. I'm going to Dremel out a hole here. I'm going to disconnect these. I'm going to twist those together and bundle them. And I'm going to make a couple of leads. This is going to be a pretty easy one. Wow, how terrible am I at guides? All I did right here is I did a little snippy snip from this nest here. Whoa. I snipped these two off of here. And I snipped those three brown ones off of there. We're gonna take this here and I might as well take this screw out. I save all screws and clamps and anything salvageable. And it's always handy. You end up using so much of this stuff. Not that though, this is garbage. I should show you what this is. This is like a cool little thing. What this is for, if I plugged a LiPo in to this without this board removed, if too much current goes through this, it gets really hot and it stops passing current. Yeah, I forget what it's called. The thermistor? Is this the thermistor? I'm not really good at this stuff, guys. I'm a salvage guy. So this is cool, but we bypass that. We don't need it. It's not necessary. It just protects things, but hey, we're modding. We expect things to break more, and if they do, we'll fix them. My Dremel is seized up with one particular bit in, so I can't use the bit that I should use, but I'm gonna use the bit that's stuck in there. And I'm just gonna punch a hole and we will make something so that cords can come out of here. The main thing here is to get those metal coils out. Actually, let's see, let's take this off. Oh, gotta love when things fall down in the blaster. You know what? We'll shake that out later. Maybe we'll shake it out later or I'll forget and it'll be rattling around in there and it'll short things out. What do we, oh yeah, clips. We don't have to be super gentle because we don't need this to go back on. A flathead screwdriver would work, Anthony. Yes. Oh, ow. Yeah, okay. Probably some of you saw that coming. Be careful when you're doing this stuff. It's a really, really dumb way or reason to go to the emergency room. I swear I've never, there we go. Oh yeah, stabbed myself real good. Luckily, my tetanus and everything is up to date. So we get rid of all this junk in here, and that leaves us with just this, which is all plastic. Actually, you know what? We don't even have to Dremel this. We're just gonna put our wires, our new wires, out through the back of it, and that'll be nice and clean. I think before I get into the soldering, I'm gonna quickly open this up. I took out the screw, all of these screws here, and down here. This lifts out just from what we've already taken out of the shell. I'm just seeing if I can clamshell this open because I don't want this to become a big thing. I forgot a screw. I know Captain Xavier rewired the rev and fire to be opposite of what they are here. Totally, I really like that idea actually. But again, I'm just trying to do a repair to something that was broken. So this comes off pretty easily actually. Here is our annoying thing here. It goes like this. So that's gonna come out. Now, what does it do? Oh, it's just a little mechanical lock. I'm pretty sure without that there, it won't do anything. So we can just literally take it out. That's not the cleanest way to do it. Oh, I'm fine with that. We're gonna just take that out. We're gonna put this back on. Oh, there's one on the other side too? Arrgh. I don't want everything to fall out. I'm trying to make things easy. Things are falling out. But I got my screw here. This and this. There's this trigger, that's fine. This guy out, this guy out. All that mechanical locky stuff out. Put that in there. Oh, I see. Turning that pushes in this mechanical lock here. So this needs to come out. Ooh, but there's a juicy spring. And I do love a juicy spring. I'll use that for something after. Yep, there. No more locks. Perfect. And I'm just going to throw in one of these screws to hold it together. Should I have taken a picture in there for people as a reference? That's fine. You guys can freeze the video if you need it. I've been trying to take video references for people. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Is it a big screw? I feel like it was maybe a little screw. And we'll put the other one on after, oh yeah, no, we'll put it on right now. We'll put this on here. I can't even tell you how happy it makes me to get rid of this lock. I'm someone, I don't actually mind locks. This one's just badly designed. It's way too in the way. That's gonna be perfect. So all this stuff, boom, gone. Maybe I should get a little closer for the actual soldering here. What's really cool, I think, about this video isn't really so much the mod, it's that I used to think anything with a proprietary battery was like junk forever when the battery went, and it's just not so. So many things in manufacturing use common batteries, common voltages. If you just look things up, you can find a replacement. This is a 9.6 volt nickel metal hydride pack. This is a 9.6 volt nickel metal hydride pack. 2500 mega amps. This one is 2000. So this is a little bit lower capacity than this, but it should be fine. Probably inside of this is, you know, a bunch of batteries just like this. So we're gonna use this instead. We can actually use the exact same charging port. We can still use, if we have it, our same rival charger. It's not anything special. If we wanna use this in one of our maybe other fancier modded Nerf blasters, we can even use a little adapter and we can adapt this over to XT60. Why would I do that? Maybe you wanna lower the firing rate or the FPS of a LiPo blaster. You can just undervolt it usually and it'll be fine. Don't listen to those educated naysayers. It's been fine. I've been doing that for years. In this case, I'm actually going to use this adapter. I don't have a lot of these Tamiya connectors around. I use mostly XT60. I'm going to use my battery like this, and I'm going to put an XT60 connector on this. If I had the male to this floating around, I would just use that directly. Soldering iron. There. No, that's good. That's a good connection. Let's do our negative. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that we had 3 wires. Yeah, here we go. So let's strip these. Being careful to not pull them off the boards they're on or something like that. What is this doing here? And the reason I'm being careful about that is I just don't want to totally rewire it. I need to use this for a party in a couple days. And I could get this done in a couple days, but I have other things that I want to do. Truly do not enjoy this gauge of wire. There we go. You can almost penetrate the insulation with your fingernail. So it's just kind of, it can be a little bit annoying. I am not against rewiring this if you want to. I'm just in repair mode here more than mod mode, I guess. This is a salvage project. This is something that was broken and non-functional, and we are going to make it function just like it used to, which can also be really cool and fun, I think. All right, got those together. Before soldering that, I could have just done the whole soldered everything at once, but how much of this do I need? I go through too much wire. I probably should be more measury. Last time I twisted everything together, and this time I kind of left them separate. So I am going to do that now, which is fine. I'll just wrap this wire around. With a bunch of solder on there. They will be as one. Great. We're going to put this through here. I'm going to put some shrink over this one as well. Maybe a little tiny bit larger shrink because I made my solder a little bit bigger. Perfect. I did kind of accidentally make the green one a lot longer than my black one here, or negative. Oh well. Does not really matter. Almost forgot. And I don't want to forget. I want to have shrink over everything. It's going nowhere. Silly of me. Those are separated. There's shrink on one, so they're going nowhere. Snap that on. Perfect. Let's just like that. Let's see. Wow, that's filthy. The arena is carpeted, so it can get pretty dirty. So just to test it, move this over here if I can. Just to test it, don't want my soldering iron to fall on the ground. In order for me to test it, this is a lock and this is a lock. This is when the door is shut, I believe. Yeah, so with that lock in, now I could go in and take that lock out, but I actually don't mind, especially with kids using them. I don't mind some locks. That one on the trigger is just more of a hindrance. So this battery works great. So I am going to, with that done, my shrink on, I'm going to carefully close this back up. Oh no! I was going to run these wires through there, but that's all right. I'm just going to Dremel through and make one pass through. It's fine. Honestly, it's probably better to do it this way. That's really all we need. Maybe smooth that out a bit more. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it went in just like that because it held down all those cables. And then we have these here, and these can all tuck in just like so. I might put just a tiny little bit of electrical tape around these just to make sure they are completely separated. I mean, they are, but I might do that anyway. Better to be paranoid. Putting things back together, always so tricky. Hey, I remembered where this short screw went. I really like when all the screws are the same size. I think we're ready to put the other shell on, which I realize is something I don't really need to show you guys. Oh, I had this little nubbin fall out. What do you fall off of? Right there. Make sure the bottom part of the shell was in straight. Oh, I love when a shell pushes together easily. Let's put in just a couple screws because I have over time learned at least a minimum thing that I will have to take this apart again. Take my, oh my goodness, stop chiming laptop. Yes, another camera view would be better, but this is where we are. We have our lead. I don't have my fancy holder done yet. And again, you wouldn't have to do a fancy holder. I mean, my goodness, you could put a pop can back here or something. You know, you could do whatever. I'm gonna finish putting in these screws and I'm not gonna show you to save myself the editing time. It's all together. I realized I can't get these on. One more look at what we took out. We took out this guy. We don't really need it. Boards and stuff like that when you're modding can come out. A lot of those are regulatory. I especially wanted this one to come out because if I tried to overvolt it with something, because I'm an adult and I can do that if I want to at risk of my blaster, it won't stop me from doing it. Although there's probably other ones of those in the blaster further, but whatever, that one's out. I did keep this little piece. We're not ever going to use this plastic piece again, but this is a nice juicy spring. I keep all those springs. I use them in the gauntlet for trigger stuff. And then these are just part of those locks in this thing, which this no longer does anything, so garbage. So cool to be able to do this. So I have my print of this battery, which is really, really cool. This screws on. I'm very happy with it. It's modeled really, really well. So super cool. And it'll be a lot lighter, but it'll keep the look of the Prometheus, which I think is kind of neat. Without the battery, it feels like a big bare spot to me. What is less cool is I'm realizing that the battery I want to use won't fit in there. This is probably more for lipo. It's also going to need a hole drilled through the back. Obviously, whoever did this was intending for the lipo to be connected down through here maybe, and this was just to access the cord. A great design, but not what I've done. So I'm going to do it a little different and drill into my 3D printed part. I am also going to carefully, I'm going to remove the plastic wrapping from this pack, and being very careful not to puncture anything, we are going to see if we can reconfigure this pack a bit. I'm not enough nerf when it comes to batteries. Let's see if this has a bit more flex. I've gone a little bit too far. I do need this to be connected over here. So by bending it, I have kind of disconnected this bit. But I think if we bend it and adhere it, I think we're gonna be still okay. And this, I can fit in no problem. I'll wrap this all back up so it's safe, etc. All this really is a series of cells that are connected end to end. There'd be wires underneath this adhesive and here. There's not here because the cells loop back and forth, positive to negative, positive to negative. When I split this in half, what I did is I pulled off the adhesive for that metal piece right there. So as long as I have this, I tape it back down and I tape it back up. This is now going to work and be in more of a square config. Now I have my more square pack. Everything was fine down here. Up here, the metal that was stuck to the top of this terminal was sticking that way. Bending it, there wasn't enough room. So I pried it off, straightened out the metal, laid it from here to kind of bridge where it was before. And then the adhesive that was still there was still enough to stick it down. So really, it's just like when you put batteries in a battery tray where they go end to end to end. The reason you do that is so the current can keep going and flow through all of those cells. The other thing you could do is buy a battery like this that is more square. But I hope that helped. I don't want to take this apart again. I had to do some fussing around with it, but again, the piece of metal, it just stuck out here because I bent this in half, so it was sticking out here and it wasn't touching the top of this. I just took it off, straightened it out, and then laid it down sideways. Let's pretend this is our piece of metal. Instead of it sticking out this way, I took it off, straightened it out, and then had it here and put it underneath these red adhesive bits and then put some electrical tape on it for good measure. And now it's working great. We do need to drill a hole. We'll start with one of the existing holes maybe. Perhaps a drill would have been better. We now have a hole. We can put our cord through here. It's a little bit messy. If this was a commission or something, well, maybe I would do it better. But it's not. This is a case where I almost wish I had made this cord a little longer, but you know what? It's fine. It does stick out right here. Let's plug this in. Just enough room. This goes in here. It's pretty snug. I would usually use a bit of foam or something like that to keep things from wiggling around too much. So I'm gonna stick some foam in there. And now we can thread on. Oh, do we need to thread that on first? This cover is close to being perfect, but only close. I feel like it threads the opposite way that I expect as well. Lesson learned, I would have made that cord a little longer, but whoa, all right. We have a repaired Prometheus that you can barely tell the difference. I'm super happy with that. Just putting these back on. Luckily there are screws here. Otherwise you would never squeeze these back on. Now you can slide these back into place. I was momentarily confused. You need to screw these back on so that you can snap them back in. So here we are, our finished Prometheus. It is all working great. No more annoying lock. It has the same 9.6 volt as the original battery and this really cool battery tray. This is a 9.6 volt. You probably could use a 2S in here. Some might even say you could get away with doing a little bit of 3S stuff in there. But generally, I just wanted to keep this to what it was because I didn't want to get into changing all the switches. For all my talk of saving cord, I wish I'd made the cord a little bit longer, and I would probably, you know what, I'll do that now. I'm gonna put a little bit of foam in here just to keep that from moving around. Twists on really nicely. Then we push that all the way in, and look at that. That's some good modeling. I'm gonna put a link down below so you can get one from the designer. I meant to look up their name. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna put their name right here so you can make sure to see it. I want them to get proper credit. But I'm very happy with having this Prometheus back in order and looking very original. And I will be disposing of this. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Maritime Salvage, where we take something that's broken or just not really usable and we see if we can get it back up and running. Stay tuned. I'm gonna be trying to do this once a month, and in between shows, I'm gonna be doing some shorts on blasters to avoid that are not worth the salvage or that you should just take them apart, take all those screws and all those springs and throw the rest in the bin. Don't forget to subscribe, World Foam Alliance, subscribe to Maritime Foam if you don't mind, and I will see you guys next month. I hope you have a good one.